Today, I want to talk about self-identity. And when we talk about self-identity, it's really the question of who are you? Who are you a parent? And some of these personal questions that we have, they have something to do with our upbringing and especially your experience with your father. There is something that a father gives to a child, and it's that feeling of acceptability. If your father was emotionally absent, they didn't connect with you, you questioned whether they even ever saw you or whether they valued you or not. Or if your father was very harsh, you experienced a lot of control and a lot of verbal and maybe physical and abuse and a lot of neglect. What is going to happen is that your sense of identity is going to be shaken, where you are asking yourself, who am I? Did he really like me? Even children who do not know their father, they do struggle, especially in teenage. When you hit your first identity crisis, they struggle with why they don't have a father. In your process of getting to love and accept yourself, you do need to go through the journey of discovering who you are. Now, I will tell you how mine worked for me. I had the identity of this is my mom and dad. This is where I came from. And then I had the extended family, because I do remember one time being in one of my relatives' house, and I never used to feel like I fitted in. I always used to feel like they don't completely accept me. But then my grandfather, who was my father's uncle, one time he visited and he came into the kitchen where I was. And I remember he took my hand, he looked at me and, "You are my sister," because I'm named after his sister. Then he took a watch and he put it on my wrist and he said, "Never forget that. You belong to us." And I am telling you, it did a number on me. And I felt so accepted and so loved at that moment. Now, the other way that I really worked on my identity was actually to look beyond my parents. And this is where spirituality comes in. God became one of the entities that I needed to understand their acceptance and their love for me. I knew that God loves me because the Bible tells me so. But during my times of questioning about my identity, that's when I started to really interrogate, who am I in God? How does God see me? What does he say about me? I remember when I was feeling lost about my future, looking at Jeremiah 29:11, where he says that I alone know the plans I have for you. I remember looking at Revelation 3:7, where it says, there is a door I have opened for you and nobody can close it. I started putting together, who am I in God? What is my source of value and worth? And that gave me a lot of confidence and a lot of trust in this God who never changes, who says that when you go through the valleys, I'm there with you. When you go through the waters, they are not going to overwhelm you. I may not have the perfect relationships with many people, but it's okay, because the anchor that I have anchored my life in, it never changes. And that is the God whom I chose to believe in. As you are seeking to find your ability to love yourself, to accept yourself, that you think about your spirituality, your higher power, that place that you find refuge, that place that you know that you are not judged, you are not condemned, you embrace that. And now you start to build your self-concept, you start to build your self-worth on that solid ground where you can never be shaken. If you are finding yourself unable to reconcile your spiritual self, you can click on my website. It's there on the screen, and I'll be glad to hold your hand to be able to walk through that journey of exploring, interrogating these concepts so that we can be able to experience the kind of life that we desire.